CTV's Colin DeMello is live in the village where police and Pride find themselves at a crossroads yet again. Colin, the police union wants the city to pull Pride funding. Has Pride responded?
They did just about an hour ago, Michelle, giving a very political response, saying in essence that they are happy about this letter because it adds to the conversation that they are trying to have about what Pride is, ignoring the fact that the letter is asking the city to withdraw its support for Pride.
And he's dropping off a letter.
The letter delivered to the mayor's office was written by Toronto's LGBTQ police officers.
We, as city employees, would feel completely devalued and unsupported by our employer should they fund this event at this time.
The city provides Pride with $260,000 in yearly funding. Police want to see that revoked.
We're not the ones who put it in this position. You should maybe ask that question for the people who disinvited police.
This showdown began in 2016 when Black Lives Matter held a sit-down during the parade. Pride organizers then agreed to a demand to exclude Toronto police from this year's parade. Black Lives Matter believes police may be misreading the situation.
There's no reason for this letter. Like we said time and time again, individual queer police officers can come to the parade, but not representing the Toronto Police Services as an institution.
But Pride Toronto is welcoming the letter.
We're happy to get as much feedback as we can about what that should look and feel like.
At City Hall, councillors say there is a push to defund Pride.
City councillors who are having guttural reactions, and they're angry.
But some say it could have unintended consequences.
Everyone thinks that the City of Toronto actually funds the parade. It doesn't. The funding in cash, $260,000, is simply for the stage, for the talent, for the entertainment.
Mayor Tory says now is not the time to discuss defunding. Discussions between Pride and police, he says, must take priority.
I respect the fact that these officers feel excluded by what has happened, and I want them to feel included again and to be included again.
The city finds itself torn between supporting its employees or a festival that doesn't want them there. Now, the city also provides services in kind, basically policing and street cleaning. We asked the mayor today if those could be in the chopping block. He said he didn't want to parse things out because, in his words, the city is either in Pride or it's not.
Letter also with the Toronto Police Service. They have asked that Mike McCormick drop this letter off, and we'll see if we can talk to him right now. Mike, can you just tell us what this letter is all about?
Well, better than that, I'm going to read you this letter. This was sent to me at the association on behalf of our members. So I'm just going to read the letter. What it says is, Dear President McCormack, we the undersigned represent the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer internal support network executive committee for the Toronto Police Service. It is our understanding that the City of Toronto will be considering continued funding in 2017 for Pride Toronto in the approximate amount of $260,000. At our request, we would like the association to consider sharing with the mayor and city councillors that we, as city employees, would feel completely devalued and unsupported by our employer should they fund this event at this time. How can we possibly feel appreciated by our employer while they sponsor an event that its own employees have been disinvited from participating in as full, equal, and active participants in their role as city employees? We can think of no examples in Canada where either a public or private employer has been a lead sponsor for an event their employees were asked not to participate in. We wish Pride Toronto all the best success in their events in 2017, and we look forward to a time when a relationship exists again that cultivates a more respectful police community partnership and pride. However, when any city employee, regardless of their job function, is disinvited from an event hosted in the City of Toronto, we feel it is simply a conflict of interest and unacceptable that the City of Toronto remain a sponsor. We thank you for your consideration, the undersigned executive of the LGBTQ ISN of the Toronto Police Service. That's the letter.
So, Mike, do you think that this is productive? Because, I mean, the mayor is an executive committee right now. I just talked to Olivia, who is the head of Pride Toronto. She didn't know about this. And there has been a push from the mayor and also, you know, the police chief to really lower the tension here. Is this doing that at all?
Well, again, what I'm here is as an advocate from our members. These are our members that have decades of service, dedicated service to the Toronto Police Service and to the community, building these relationships. I'm speaking on behalf of the members. I've been asked, how do our members feel about what's going on? How do they feel as police officers who have been disinvited to this event? So it's not about lowering the temperature. Our officers have been told they're not welcome. This is how they feel, and I'm here to advocate and speak on behalf of our officers. And people have asked me, how do they feel? That's how they feel.
And they're putting their names on this letter.
Their names are all listed on this letter. They have signed it as the executive. I've delivered it. They've asked me to deliver it to City Hall, deliver their message, and I have done that.
Mike, do you expect the City of Toronto to pull its funding from
Again, you know, I expect the City of Toronto to listen to their constituents. Let's see what happens. But again, this is not a conversation we should be having. We should be talking about inclusivity. To your point, we should be talking about what a great event Pride is. We're not the ones who put it in this position. You should maybe ask that question for the people who disinvited police and wanted to have no uniformed police presence.
So are you hearing from any members that are refusing to work, especially if the city continues to fund Pride?
Well, what I'm hearing from our members right now is that they have been disinvited to Pride and that they are looking at, we will always provide, as I said, safety, security, that's what we do in policing, but as far as volunteering and supporting Pride, you know, they're not looking at it this year.
You were considering maybe still marching in the parade? Is
Again,
that off the table
again, we haven't been asked to do that, so and that's all the questions are going to take.
So Mike,
is the president of the Toronto Police Association and joins us now. You read that letter at City Hall.
That's correct.
What got you to the point of drafting this letter and presenting it?
Well, first of all, I didn't draft the letter. This is, you know, what has been missing from this conversation or this narrative or dialogue all along since we started talking about police being banned from the parade. This is a grassroots from the membership. The letter was sent to me on behalf of the LGBTQ ISN, Internal Support Network, executive, who really had a problem with what was going on as far as Pride. And again, when we talk about Pride, we're talking about the event. We're not talking about the broader community, but with the Pride event, saying, you know, it's okay to self-identify as anything, but don't self-identify as an LGBTQ police officer. And we got a problem with you identifying as a police officer. So, you know, as somebody who is a police officer, and then again, these are officers and civilians who have been working decades to break down the stigma, break down barriers, to improve community, and all this proud work that they've done within the community and within the police service has all been thrown aside by the Pride organizers, they feel, and just saying, okay, forget about it. You cannot self-identify. You cannot be proud to be a police officer or a member of the Toronto Police Service. So they voiced their opinion, and they wanted me to go down and talk to the mayor and city council and say, this is how we feel. If you're going to do this and you're not going to be inclusive, then why are we using our employers' taxpayers' dollars to fund this event?
It's early days since this letter was, or early hours since the letter was read. What kind of reaction do you expect from City Council and from the mayor?
Well, again, you know, it's in their hands. They're the elected officials. These are the constituents. And, you know, what the big problem, again, is that if you want to be exclusive, if you don't want police officers and you don't want to have certain people participate in a parade or whatever, then don't come to the city and don't ask taxpayers to fund it. And that's the bottom line. And that's where the frustration is. And again, that, you know, these officers and civilians have worked so hard. And, you know, we should be having a very proud moment saying, look where we are in 2017. Look at the relationship that we have in that community. Look where policing is. And instead, we're having this dialogue. And it's totally not a productive dialogue.
You know, and this has been going on since last year when this really flared up at the parade. How did we get to the point where here we are in Toronto, you know, one of the most diverse places on earth, and we're having this discussion with the community and the police?
Yeah, and it's kind of dumbfounding. And this is the frustration that we were hearing from the executive. And they're saying, like I said, how can we be having this discussion? And again, this should be a discussion about what a great parade, what a great city, what a great inclusive event. And instead, we're having a discussion how police officers cannot self-identify, how we should be ashamed of being police officers to participate in an event like that. And it's just wrong.
What kind of reaction do you expect from the Pride organizers?
Again, you know, I think that this is something that has been missing we've heard from the chief, you heard from the mayor, you heard from the association president, whoever. But this is really, like I said, a grassroots. This is how our officers feel. This is what has been missing from this narrative. And we'll see how they react. And I'm looking forward to see what reaction we get from the Pride organizers.
That debate continues. Mike McCormick, thank you very much.